Hello. Let me just adjust a little bit so that you can see me. So this is a back therapy class. Welcome. I'm Monika Lupean, and this is Salisbury Yoga and Wellness Center. So we're going to do this back therapy class. If you have any issues in your, excuse me while I adjust my pants, if you have any issues in your lower back or any part of your spine or even in your knees or your hips or your shoulders, this class is designed to help you. So you'll need a chair. I have a folding chair. I'm just going to turn sideways for a moment so you can see me, and then I'll turn back to face you. And if you have a pillow, if you have a kind of a pliable pillow, then you can take that pillow and put it, kind of fold it up a little bit, and then fold it into the place in your back where you might have a belt. And then sit back in your chair. You can use any kind of chair as long as your feet are on the ground. So if your legs are dangling, if your chair is too high, you might put a book or a telephone book or some blocks or whatever under your feet. And you can see now that this pillow against my lower back is helping to align my shoulders over my hips. And my back is flat. And my back is straight. I'm going to turn back to face you again. So take a moment to make yourself comfortable on your chair, rearrange whatever you need to rearrange. You might take several deeper inhales. And inside the mouth. This is a class I've done at least twice a week for a long time now, and I've really missed doing it. So this is my first chance of doing it with you virtually. So I'm glad to virtually see you, and I'm glad you could join me. So let yourself settle on the ground, on the chair. If you like, close your eyes. Allowing your hands to rest on your thighs or on your lap in any way that feels good for you. You can have the palms facing down or turned up or whatever feels good for you. If you have the palms facing down, that'll bring you more into your body, and that might be what we need in these times when we're all up in our head a lot of the time. Then begin to notice your breath. And as you're noticing your breath, you might gently say to yourself, breathing in, I am arriving. Breathing out, I'm home in my body. Breathing in, arriving. Breathing out, home into my body. Arriving, home into my body. Take a moment to just let yourself settle. During these times, especially during these times, we are so much in our head and we're so on high alert so much of the time we don't even realize it. So this is your chance to come into your body, to come out of that overactive mind. And we're going to add some movement. So now if you're sitting back in your chair, you might remove the pillow and just kind of bring it to the side and sit forward in your chair. Maybe remove the flesh from the sits bones. I'm kind of taking my hands to remove the flesh from my sits bones. You can bring your hands to the fronts of the hip crease where the thighs meet the hips, and then press down into that place and press down into the feet. So I'm lengthening my torso. And we're going to begin to move with the breath. So again, feel the breath. And on the next inhale, let your heart blossom forward, your shoulders back, you're stretching the front of the body. And as you exhale, push the thighs away and stretch the back of the body. So coming into some seated cat and dog tilts, your feet are grounded. Your heart comes forward as you inhale, and then towards the back of the chair as you exhale. I'm going to turn my chair. You can continue with these at the pace of your breath. I'm just going to turn my chair to the side so you can see a little bit more what my body is doing if you're questioning if you're doing it right. So as you inhale, the heart comes forward, shoulders back, tailbone comes back, stretch the front of the body, and then exhale all the way to the end of the exhale, round the spine towards the back of the chair. You're stretching the back body. Inhale, you can pull on the knees to help the torso stretch to the front. And then you can push on the knees or thighs to help yourself round to the back and moving at the pace of your own breath. If these movements are too big for your body, if there's some pain associated with these movements, then make them smaller. You don't have to exaggerate the movements like I'm doing. And you're moving at the pace of your breath. Exhale all the way to empty. The next inhale comes in. You might be moving faster than I'm moving, and that's okay. You're following your breath. You don't have to wait for me. You don't have to slow down your movements. I'm just illustrating that I'm moving at the pace of my breath. And come back to sitting when you're ready. Anytime you like. So throughout the practice, shake it out whenever you feel like it. Let your body move. This is your practice, and you're in your own home, and you can do whatever your body wants to. So I'm going to stay sideways again so you can see me a little bit better. So again, I'm not slouching back in the chair. I'm sitting towards the front of the chair. My feet are grounded, and we're going to continue moving with the breath. So my hands are on my thighs, and now I'm going to begin to rotate the torso, breathing into one side and then to the front, and then all the way over to the other side, scooping out the back towards the back of the chair. And I'm making circles leading with my sternum, the center of the chest, where I've put my fingers just to show you. And I'm moving at the pace of the breath. Perhaps there's a pattern. Perhaps you're exhaling towards the back and inhaling towards the front. Or maybe you're on the opposite pattern. And you're just moving your spine. You're following your breath. The breath is the most important part. Whenever you're ready, you can reverse the circles again. You don't need to be moving as slowly and deliberately as I'm moving. Do what's best for your body. Take care to let your neck follow as well, so you're not, I know I tend to lead with the nose, as most of us do, so I'm trying to just let my neck follow rather than leading with the nose. And come back to sitting when you're ready. And again, shake it out if you like. So throughout the practice, the most important thing for you to remember is to do what your body wants to do. So don't force your body into something it's not ready to. If there's pain associated with something that we're doing, then back off a little bit and do a little bit less. So I'm going to stay sideways for another moment. We're going to come into a little forward fold to kind of put the spine in traction. So maybe turn your toes in toward each other a little bit. So you're a little bit pigeon-toed, and then lean forward. Let your forearms and your elbows rest on your thighs, and let your head just drop. Stay with the breath. So you're following the breath. Perhaps notice the back of the rib cage expanding with the breath and contracting with the breath all the way to empty. So this might be perfect for you. If you want to fold further, if you feel like you can use a little more stretch, you can first bring the hands to the lower belly and just kind of pull the belly towards the chest to make room for the chest to drop down further. And then let your hands hang, your head hang, and just be with your breath. Full deep inhales, full deep exhales. Stay low as long as you like. When you're ready to come back up, then come halfway up. Don't come all the way up. Bring the forearms to the thighs. Pause here for a moment. Again, let the head drop. Sometimes it's nice to just bring the head gently side to side. And then when you're ready, come all the way up to sitting and pause for a moment. You can just let your hands rest on your belly. Or if it feels good for you, wrap the arms around the rib cage to really become more intimate with your breath. And stay with your breath. So you can continue sitting on your chair for the next few poses. You can continue sitting in your chair for the entire time. If you want to stand up, I'm going to model this standing up, but it's just as easy and just as beneficial to do it sitting down. So either stay on your chair or come up. And then we're going to add a little more movement. Keep your chair handy because we'll need it again. So take the right arm and just kind of shake it out. And again, this is great to do while you're sitting down. You don't need to stand up. And then shake out the left arm. And throughout the practice, I'll give you options. Do more, do less. You can shake out one leg, continue shaking out the arms. And you don't have to lift your leg that high. And if you're sitting, this is really nice because you don't have to balance. You can also come next to the wall to hold on to the wall. So really listen to your body throughout the entire practice. And if you like, shake out your whole body. And since you're home alone and nobody can even, well, your pets might look at you weird, or your kids, or your spouse, but if you like, shake it all out and let out all the, everything you're restraining, just kind of moan it out. Be silly, why not? And then from here, coming into empty coat sleeve, step the feet a little bit wider. And you can do this sitting down again. It's fine to still be sitting down. Soften the knees if you're standing up. If you're sitting down, your knees are bent. Bring the hands to the fronts of the hips. And then start to sway your arms side to side. If you're standing, pick up the opposite heel. Your arms are wrapping around your hips. You're just kind of moving the spine, waking up the spine. So your arms aren't like helicopters flying out to the sides. They're wrapping around your torso. Inhale through the nose to center. Exhale. And stay in this Releasing pose as long as you like. When you've had enough, come back to standing. And step the feet closer, and then bring the hands to the shoulders. And begin to circle the elbows. And again, this can be done sitting down. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see I'm adding a little bounce in my knees if you want to add that, but you don't have to. Just try not to hold the rest of your body stiff, and especially the neck. You can reverse your circles of your elbows so you're really opening the shoulders. And when you've had enough of that, shake it out again. And then step your feet wider. If you're sitting on your chair, you don't have to step your feet wider, just keep your feet to the ground. And let your arms hang down by the sides. Press into the inside and the outside edges of the feet. And if you're sitting down, your arms are just hanging down on the sides of the chair. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, let the right arm reach down, slide down the right thigh. Keep the hips level. The weight equal on both feet. Find where your neck is happy. So your neck might be happiest looking down, or you can keep the neck neutral. Just find where your neck is not torquing and you're breathing, and you're just letting that arm hang down the right thigh or the side of your chair. And you're breathing up and down the left side of the body. Inhale back to neutral. Pause here for a moment. And then as you exhale, the left arm glides down the left thigh. So try not to lean forward. The shoulders stay even, the hips stay even, the feet stay equally weighted. Again, find where your neck is happy. Breathe into, probably you're feeling a stretch somewhere around the right hip. Might be a little higher, a little lower. Breathe. And then inhale back up. Pause for a moment. And then you can just come side to side at the pace of your breath. You can let the opposite arm peel up the side of the waist. And again, you can do this sitting as well. Your legs, see how my legs are kind of like a stationary triangle. They're not moving. Do as many of these as feels good for you. And when you've had enough, then step the feet a little bit closer, not all the way together yet. We're going to do some hip circles. So again, soften your knees. Bring your hands to the fronts of the hips. And then start to circle your hips. Moving at the pace of your breath. You can keep the hands to the hips. I'm going to turn sideways again just so you get a better view of the movement. You can keep the hands to the front of the hip points, or just let your arms follow, and let your whole body follow the movement of your hips. So you're not guarding against movement anywhere. You're staying with the breath. Then reverse the circles, moving counterclockwise. Notice where your hips maybe not want to move. If you find such a place, you can go back and forth over that place to kind of soften it up. And when you're ready, then come back to standing or sitting and shake it out if you like. And now we're going to use our chair to do the next couple of poses. So if you've done this class with me before, you know where we're going. If you haven't, you might want to take your chair and come next to a wall so that you can hold on to the wall. Start out with your hands to your hips. And then shift Again, this is really nice to have a wall next to you, and there's no shame at all in being next to the wall to have it support you. Lift up your right foot and bring it onto the chair. And then I always need to inch the left foot out to the side a little bit so I'm not on a tightrope. And then I'm going to lean into the right side just a little bit. And my hands can stay to my hips, urging the hips to stay even, or the arms can hang by the sides. The left knee is a little soft so it's not hyperextended. And stay with your breath. Full, deep breath. So this is not like a lunge, so you don't want to come into it too far. You just want to lean into it just a little bit and then keep equal weight on both feet as best as you can. And breathe into wherever you notice the sensation. So what this pose does is it squares the pelvis side to side. The pelvis, a lot of back pain is caused by a misaligned pelvis. And so this is helping to neutralize that. Stay with your breath. And the only hard thing about this, besides, maybe the balance where you want to put your hand on the wall, that's fine. The only other hard thing about this is that we have to stay here for at least a minute. So it takes 30 seconds for the muscles to reset. And then another 30 seconds for the muscles to remember this new position. So right now I'm feeling it really a lot in my left calf. You might be feeling it someplace else. Wherever you're feeling it, if it's around the hips or the thighs or the pelvis or the buttocks, soften around that. Try not to guard against it and just breathe, stay with the breath. Sometimes adding a smile is really helpful because the mind's going, why are we staying so long? And breathe. And then bring the right leg back down. And just pause for a moment. Maybe hold your belly and your hands. Notice how you feel in this moment. And then we're going to do the other side. So again, start out with the feet a little bit wider. Hands to the hips, bring the left foot up on the chair. It's great, again, to be against the wall, to hold on to the wall. I'm inching my right foot out to the side. So again, so I'm not on a tightrope, so my feet are at least hip distance apart. And I'm leaning into it just a little bit. So it's not a stretch, it's a realignment of the pelvis. You can keep the hands to the hips to kind of urge the hips to stay even, or just let the arms hang. And follow your breath. Soften wherever you're feeling the effects of this very therapeutic pose. It doesn't look like we're doing anything, but this is a deep kind of adjustment. And then if you do these poses, especially these next to you with the chair that I'm gonna show you, if you do them at least once a day, preferably 2 or 3 times a day, you're going to notice a difference in how your back feels. I guarantee it. And breathe. Keep softening wherever you notice the strong sensation around the hips, the pelvis, the thighs, the buttocks, maybe the right calf. And you might be noticing it someplace else. And bring the left leg down. And just pause for a moment. Can always feel free to shake it out a little bit if you like. And then we're going to, actually you don't have to do anything but turn around, or you can put the chair behind you. I can just turn around where I am. And now we're going to use the chair to put the leg on. So I'm going to start with the left leg so you can see what I'm doing. Again, this is wonderful to do against the wall. I really highly recommend it, and maybe next time I record this class, I will do it against the wall just to demonstrate. Soften the right knee and then bring the left foot onto the left shin onto the mat. Again, I'm inching my right foot out to the side so that it's easier to balance. And breathe. I'm keeping my hips as square to the front as I can, keeping the right knee a little bit soft. If you have sensitivity in the shin or the knee or the foot, you can put a blanket over your chair so it's not so hard. And then breathe and soften into it as best as you can. Notice the breath coming in, the breath coming out. Again, the hardest part about these poses is that we do have to hold them. We have to stay with them for about a minute. The time is between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. 30 seconds is just enough to kind of reset it, but then the muscles will forget it as soon as you release. And breathe and just smile to yourself. Stay with the breath, soften the shoulders, soften the belly. And when you're ready, bring the left foot down and just pause for a moment. You can either just pause or shake it out if you feel like you need some movement. And then we're going to do the other side. So pick up the right leg and bring it onto the chair. Soften, again, I'm inching the left foot out to the side. Soften into it a little bit. So your leg doesn't have to be as far back as mine is. You can be standing closer to the chair. Try to keep the hips as even as you can. And keep softening that supporting knee so you're not hyperextending the knee. Notice if your back has a tendency to kind of arch, and try to keep your shoulders lined up over your hips. Keep the navel hugged in a little bit so that you're supporting your core, your midsection. Breathe and smile. Anytime you like, you can always wrap the arms around the rib cage just to distract yourself a little bit, or bring your hands to rest on your belly just to remind yourself to come back to the breath, to come back to feeling wherever you notice the strong sensation. So now what we're doing is wherever you notice the strong sensation, breathe into it. Now what we're doing is we're squaring the pelvis front to back. The pelvis becomes tilted forward or back, and now we're squaring it front to back. And breathe and smile. And whenever you're ready, bring the right leg down. You can shake it out a little bit. And then let's all meet back on our chair. Let's do a little bit more on the chair. So again, I'm just going to check the time to make sure that I'm keeping track of the time and not going crazy on it. And excuse me for that. Sit forward in your chair. And now we're going to move up to the shoulders and the neck. And breathe. So one of the best things you can do for the shoulders, actually, let's start with another one. Bring the shoulders up to the ears and squeeze them up to the ears. You can be standing if you'd rather be standing. And breathe. Press down through the feet. Press down through the sits bones. Keep breathing. You're not holding your breath even though you're squeezing the shoulders. And then take a deep inhale and sigh the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe do that again if that felt good. So I'm still breathing, even though I'm still squeezing my shoulders, and then sigh them away. If you like, you can do some more of those shoulder circles. And maybe reverse the circles. And staying with the shoulders. Now, again, you're sitting forward in your chair. Square your sits bones. Let your arms hang down and then turn the pinky fingers in towards the chair. Press down into the feet. Press down into your sits bones so you're sitting tall on your chair. Shoulders rolling away from the ears. And you can stay here or bring your arms a little bit farther back without letting your torso arch forward. So maybe hug your shoulder blades toward each other across the upper back. And breathe. Maybe squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Keep pressing down into the feet, pressing down into the sits bones so you're growing taller. And you're not holding your breath, you're breathing all the way in and all the way out to empty. You can maybe even bring your hands a little farther back, shoulder blades further toward each other. Breathe, don't let the chest come forward if you can help it. And then on the next exhale, bring the left hand to the right shoulder and the right hand to the left shoulder. And then just let your weight curl forward a little bit. So now you're stretching the upper back. Stay with the breath. And let's do that again. Release the arms. Sit up tall. Turn the pinky fingers in. Press down into the ground. Press down into the chair with the sits bones, with the bottom. And then bring your hands as far back as they want to go without taxing your shoulders. Maybe find where your neck is happy and breathe. So you're really strong and active. You're pushing the ground away with your legs. So it's almost like you're gonna stand up off the chair and breathe. Getting taller while you're softening the shoulders. Maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together. Stay with your deep, full breath. And when you've had enough, then bring the right hand to the left shoulder, left hand to the right shoulder. And again, curl forward, stretch the upper back. Curl forward as much as you like. And come back up to sitting. Shake it out again. Now you can shake it out while you're sitting. And then we're gonna work on the neck a little bit. Does anybody have tension in their neck? Yes, right? Everybody's holding their neck stiff, watching TV or staring at a screen somewhere. So we're all suffering a little bit from that. So these will help you again. And these are also positional therapy. These are all developed by Lee Albert, who teaches integrated positional therapy. And he teaches that at Kripalu a lot of times. And he's written a couple of books as well. So you can look up Lee Albert. His first book is called Live Pain-Free Without Drugs or Surgery. Live Pain-Free Without Drugs or Surgery. So we're going to do some neck exercises. Bring the arms out to the sides and then interlace the fingers behind the back. Press down into the sits bones, down into the feet, and then press your head into your hands just a little bit. And then without pulling on your head, let the elbows come toward each other and the chin towards the chest. You're not pulling on the head. And now push the head into the hands. Push down with the feet into the floor, with the sits bones into the chair. And imagine your arms are fighting with your neck. They're now trying to pull the head down. And your head is saying, I'm not coming down. Keep breathing. And then release the pressure and soften. Maybe your chin will come towards your chest a little bit more. You're not pulling, you're not forcing, you're just allowing. You can stay here, or if you like, if you want to do the pressure, counter pressure again, press the head into the hands and the hands into the head. Really tighten the back of the neck to remind the muscles how it feels to let go, and then again release.
Again, your neck might be up really high. Don't force your neck. Don't force your elbows. Stay with your breath. Never pull on the neck. Whenever you've had enough, release the hands to the thighs, and then very, very slowly bring your head back up.
And resist the urge to kind of explore the neck now. Now we want to see how the neck feels, but we still have a few more to do before we can get to do that. So this time bring the left arm up over the head, the left arm alongside the left ear, and then bring the left hand to the right ear. You're not pulling on the neck. Wiggle the right fingers, the right shoulder. You're still pressing down into the feet, pressing down into the chair. And then as you exhale, let the head drift a little bit towards the left shoulder, but you're not tilting the chin. You're keeping the head just gently tilted. And then pause here and then press, counter press. Press the head into the hand and the hand into the head. Keep pressing down with the feet, down with the sits bones, and it won't feel very comfortable on the right side of the neck. Maybe wiggle the right fingers again. We're tightening the muscles on purpose to teach them to relax, and then release the pressure, counter pressure, release everything. Maybe your left ear comes down towards the left shoulder a little bit more. Don't let the right shoulder come up towards the ear. And you're not pulling with the hand, you're just kind of letting the neck soften. And again, if you want to add another pressure, counter pressure, you can do that again. Just stay with the breath. Soften the jaw, soften the right shoulder, and then release again. And again, your head may not be coming down as much as my head, and I'm not forcing it, I'm just kind of urging it to let go. I'm continually releasing the right shoulder, and I'm staying with the breath. And release the arm, slowly, slowly bring your head back up. Pause for a moment. Again, resist the urge to notice how your neck feels. It'll still feel awkward now because we have a few more to go. And then inhale the right arm up alongside the right ear. Get tall, press down into the chair, press down into the ground, and then bend the elbow, bring the left hand the right hand to the left ear, wiggle the left shoulders, get tall, and then exhale, let your right ear come towards the right shoulder just a little bit, and then press, counter press. I'm pressing my head into my ear into the hand and the hand into the ear. I'm trying not to tighten the jaw. Wiggle the left shoulders to release the left fingers to release the left shoulder. You're staying with your breath. And then again, soften, release the pressure, counter pressure. Maybe the right ear comes towards the right shoulder a little bit more. You're not forcing it, you're not pulling or over efforting. Continually wiggle those left fingers or the left shoulder because the left shoulder wants to come up towards the ear to kind of mitigate this opening of the left side of the neck. You can again add the pressure, counter pressure again if you want to do a little bit more, but don't over effort. Don't do more than your body wants to do right now. If you've added the pressure, counter pressure again, soften again. Stay with your breath. And release the right arm. Very slowly bring your head back up and pause. We have 2 more to do, 1 on each side. So again, I'm starting to slide back in my chair. Maybe I'll wiggle my hips a little bit. And then start to slowly turn your head towards the right shoulder. You're still sitting tall and you're not bringing your head all the way as far as you can turn. Just bring it a little ways. And then bring the right hand to the left side of the face. So not to the cheek, to the whole side of the head. And now press the head into the hand and the hand into the head without tightening the jaw. Wiggle the left fingers. Press down with the sits bones, down with the feet into the ground. So you're still tall in your spine and you're breathing. Feel the tongue off the roof of the mouth. And then release the pressure, counter pressure. Just soften, pause for a moment, and then maybe over time, maybe your chin will move a little bit more. You're not forcing it. You're not over efforting it. You're just softening. Keep softening. Keep softening even more. Don't pull. Don't push. Don't fight. Be with wherever your neck is today. Release the hands slowly and slowly bring your head back to center. Pause. And again, try not to explore the neck. Right now we have 1 more to go and then we'll do a little exploration of maybe the neck feels better. Sitting tall. Bring the left hand to the right cheek. Turn your chin a little bit towards the left. The right hand can be dangling. Breathe. And then pressure, counter pressure. Press the head into the cheek, into the hand, and the hand into the cheek. Keep softening that right shoulder. Keep trying not to grit the jaw. Let the tongue rest on the lower part of the mouth. Keep pressing down with the sits bones and down with the feet. And then release the pressure, counter pressure, and maybe over time, you're not forcing, you're not efforting, you're just allowing the chin to come towards the left a little bit more if it wants to. Try to keep the spine tall. Again, your neck may not be moving, just keep breathing into it. I'm not forcing or efforting, I'm just kind of following, allowing. Release the hands, slowly bring the head back up. And then if you really feel the need, start to make very small circles with your nose. Don't make your circles big, don't make your movements big. Just really explore. Maybe there's a little more softness in the neck, but don't be throwing your head around because then you have a good chance of re-injuring the neck, of injuring the neck, not re-injuring the neck, but re-tightening the neck. Can reverse your circles. And breathe, maybe shake it out. If you want, do some more cat and dog tails just to open the spine a little bit more. Maybe you've gotten a little more stiff. Inhale forward. Again, take care to let your neck follow. Exhale round to the back. Come back and forth at your own pace. And come back to center. Come back up to standing. Shake it out if you like. And you might just, instead of using blocks today, you might use your chair. So if you don't have blocks, or you can just use your chair today. think that's going to be perfect. So begin in mountain pose. Bring the hands to the hips. And then soften the knees, hinge at the hips, bring the hands to the chair. Pause here for a moment, lengthen. You can hold on to the sides of the chair if that's better for you. And then take a big step back with the right foot and sink the right knee down, coming into low lunge. You can keep the hands to the chair, but try not to be leaning towards the chair. You can keep the right foot tucked, press out through the right toes, through the sole of the foot, or press the top of the foot down into the ground. So you're not hanging out on that right knee, and breathe. You can, again, keep the hands to the chair or hands to blocks. If you have blocks, blocks would be under the armpits. And maybe bring your hips a little forward, a little back. And then in any way that works for you, bring your hands to the chair or to the ground. Lean towards the left foot, tuck the right toes, and step your right foot forward. So it might take you several steps to get there, don't force it. And then bring your hands to the chair and slide your left foot far back, coming into low lunge on the other side. Lower the left knee down. Again, you can keep your chair there. You can keep the toes tucked and press out through the left foot, or untuck the toes and press down through the top of the left foot. You can come forward and back. Hands can be to the knee, whatever feels good for you. And then from here, make your way onto hands and knees, coming into table position. So I'm going to just slide the chair away. You might keep your chair there. Slide the right leg back, coming into table position. If you have tender knees, you can either put a blanket under your knees. Let me get a blanket just so I can show you. Excuse me while I run away. So just fold up a blanket and put it under your knees for support, or take the mat and double it up under your knees. You can double it up a couple of times if your knees are tender. Coming into table position, flat back. And as you exhale, pull the hips back towards the heels, coming into extended child. So I'm keeping my back flat, and I'm pulling the tailbone towards the wall behind me, and then keep the belly hugged in as you come back up into table position. Exhale, pull the hips back. The image is that someone has a rope tied to your tailbone, and they're pulling the tailbone towards the wall behind you. Keep your belly hugged in as you come up into table. If you can, pull the, so feel how you're making space in the lower back. There might be a little sensation in the lower back. You're making space in the lower back. The sensation is not an unsafe sensation. So continue coming back and forth from table to extended child. I'm again just checking my time. Whenever you've had enough, you can make your way down onto the abdomen. Bring the hands alongside the chest, the forehead, the mouth, or the chin on the ground. And as you inhale, let your pelvis get heavy, your chest and head float up just an inch or two, and then exhale back down. So this is not like a push-up. You're strengthening the muscles that are supporting the spine, the muscles in the core. Do as many of these as feels good for you. When you've had enough, gather the belly in, come up into table, and then make your way all the way down onto the back. We're going to keep your chair handy because you'll need your chair for the final relaxation. But make your way down onto the back. If it's too hard for you to come up and down off the floor, then maybe just pull your chair next to you now so that it'll be there when you're ready. And then bring the feet wide. Actually, just take a moment and arrive on your mat. Let your hands rest on your belly. Maybe the knees rest against each other. Let yourself arrive on your mat. And from here, bring the knees apart. Bring the feet as wide as they want to be. Bring the arms out to the sides, palms facing down. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let your knees drift over to the right as far as they want to go, but keep the left shoulder on the ground. Inhale, knees and head back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. Again, my knees are only going so far that the right shoulder, the back of the right shoulder stays on the ground. Come back and forth at the pace of your breath. And come back to center when you're ready. And then bring the right knee into the chest. Hug the right shin or thigh in. We're going to stretch and strengthen the lower back. And also strengthen the abdominal muscles. And we're also going to strengthen the muscles that keep the right knee safe. So your right knee is hugged in, your left foot is on the mat, the left knee is bent. Bring your hands to either side of the right knee. So you're just supporting the right knee on either side. And as you inhale, your right knee goes forward just so it's lined up with the hip. And as you exhale, keep the hands where they are. Straighten the right foot up to the sky. The knee stays right over the hip. Inhale, the heel comes back down towards the buttocks. Exhale, draw the right knee in a straight line towards the right side of the chest. Inhale, right knee travels forward so it's lined up with the hip. Exhale, foot goes up to the sky. Inhale, heel back down towards the buttocks. Keep the knee where it is so the knee is not coming in now. Exhale, bring the knee towards the right side of the chest. Continue at your own pace. Move as slowly and deliberately as you can. Straighten the right knee. Inhale, heel comes back down towards the buttocks. Knee stays over hip. Exhale, draw the knee in a straight line towards the right side of the chest. Inhale, right knee goes forward, lining up the knee over the hip. Exhale, keep the knee over the hip as the foot goes up. Inhale, heel comes back down towards the buttocks. Knee still over the hip. Exhale, draw the knee in a straight line towards the right side of the chest. Let's do one more just so you remember this. Knee forward, exhale, foot up. Inhale, heel back down towards the buttocks. Exhale, draw the knee in a straight line towards the right side of the chest. If you want to do a couple of more, this is really good for your back. It's good for your abdominal muscles. So you're building muscles in your abs without hurting your back. When you've had enough, bring the right foot back down. Pause for a moment, maybe let your hands rest on your belly. And when you're ready, bring the left knee into the chest. You can first just hug it in. Breathe. The right foot is still on the mat. The right knee is bent. Bring the hands to either side of the left thigh, the left knee, I meant. The hands here are like railroad tracks. As you inhale, the left knee goes forward, so it's lined up with the hip. Exhale, foot goes up to the sky. Inhale, heel comes back down towards the buttocks. Knee stays where it is. Exhale, draw the knee in a straight line towards the left side of the chest. Inhale, left knee goes forward, lining up over the hip. Exhale, foot up to the sky. Keep the knee over the hip. Inhale, heel back down towards the buttocks. Knee still over the hip. Exhale, draw the knee in a straight line towards the left side of the chest. Continue at your own pace. Keep the left foot flex. Move with your breath. And keep the movements as slow and deliberate as you can. If you can, keep your hands supporting the knee on either side, so you're doubly sure that your knee is moving in a straight line and not wobbling out to the side or on the way forward or the way back. Stay with your breath. Soften the jaw, the tongue. When you've had enough, bring the left foot back down. And if you like, you can take constructive rest pose again. Bring your hands to your belly, knees rest against each other. Or if you want some movement, sway the knees side to side. Just pause for a moment. We have one more before our most delicious pose. Legs up the chair. Stretch your legs long this time. Bring the right knee into the chest, hug it in, and then place the right foot loosely onto the left thigh. So I'm not putting weight on it. You can let it rest on the knee, but don't put weight on it. Bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh. The right hand on the floor, palm facing down. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let the right knee come over to the left just a little bit. Make sure the right shoulder stays down. And then press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. So my thigh is strongly pressing into the hand and the hand is pressing into the thigh. It's like I'm fighting with the right thigh to get it to come towards the left a little bit. And the thigh is resisting. You can gently bring your head side to side so the neck doesn't tighten up. And then release the pressure, counter pressure, but don't let the right knee come back to the right. Just keep the weight of the hand on the thigh. Maybe over time, the knee comes over further, but don't let it come any further than you can with the right shoulder staying on the ground. Soften the belly. So your knee may not have moved at all, and that's okay. Just keep breathing. Send the breath into that right hip, urging that right hip to release a little bit more. Stay with the breath. And gently roll the right hip back down. Bring the right foot to the mat, bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the mat. Square the hips and the buttocks back into the mat, and then stretch your legs long. Bring your left knee into the chest, hug the left shin or thigh in, and then loosely place the left foot onto the right thigh or knee. You're not putting weight on the knee or thigh. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand comes on the floor like the base of a swing set. You're kind of keeping that left shoulder grounded. And as you exhale, let the left knee come a little bit towards the right, not as far as you can bring it. And then press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. So there's a lot of effort in that left thigh trying to fight the arm, urging it to come over. Sometimes I like to bring the head side to side to soften the neck. Find where the neck is comfortable. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, release the pressure, counter pressure. Don't let the knee come back to the left. Just soften, and maybe over time your left knee will come over further. It probably will not move as much as mine. That's not the object. The object is to stay with your body and also to keep the left shoulder on the ground. And breathe, soften the belly, soften the jaw. Stay with the breath. When you've had enough, release the hand. Roll the left hip back down, bring the left foot to the mat, bend the right knee, bring the right foot to the mat, square the hips and the shoulders back into the mat. You might pause again in constructive rest pose. stay there as long as you like. And then we're gonna finish up this practice with legs up the chair, which is the best part. So don't skip this part. This is a very therapeutic pose. And if you have, if there's a couch nearby that you'd rather bring your legs up on the couch, feel free to do that. I'm actually gonna put my shirt back on so I stay a little bit warmer. If you're using your chair that you were doing, you were using for your practice, and it's a hard chair like mine, you can again take the blanket and drape it over the seat so that there will be a little bit more cushion. I'm looking for my glasses and for my book. And you lie down and bring your legs up the chair. If you have another blanket, it's great to cover yourself up so you don't get cold. If you have socks handy, you might put socks back on. And the hardest part, if you were here, I would have you lie down and then bring you to the chair because it's hard to sometimes find the right position. So just lie down. Maybe you can have somebody else bring you the chair. Or you can, again, use the couch. So what you want to aim for is that your knees are kind of over your hips. This really is the best pose ever. I always forget how good it feels. So when you get into your shape, you just let your legs rest on the chair, on the couch. Again, if you have another blanket or a sweatshirt or something, drape it over you so that you stay warm. We're going to stay here for about 10 minutes or even longer. Legs up the chair is a really, really therapeutic pose. So you might remember this pose. It's wonderful for the back. It releases the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is a muscle that starts on the insides of the pelvis, and it's literally the only muscle that connects the legs to the hips, so the legs to the torso. And it's the first muscle. Scientists have discovered that the psoas muscle is the first muscle that tightens when we're in times of stress. And legs up the chair is a deep release for the psoas muscle. And since we're all stressed these days, this is a pose for everyone. Some of the other wonderful things that legs up the chair does is it's great for circulation. It gives the heart and the organs in the abdomen a little break. I can feel a little softening in my belly. Legs up the chair is wonderful for anxiety. So if you're feeling anxious, remember legs up the chair. Legs up the chair has the power to soothe your nervous system. It can also help relieve headaches. And it actually helps you sleep better. So if you're having trouble sleeping, you might do 10, 15, 20 minutes of legs up the chair before you go to bed. I sometimes even do it in the middle of the night if I wake up and have trouble falling back asleep. I'll come to my mat and just do some legs up the chair. And at times when I've been sick and really not wanted to get out of bed, I've actually taken a folding chair and put it on my bed. You don't have to be that extreme, but it does really make a difference. You can also just use pillows under your thighs or your shins, your calves. So this is going to be your final relaxation right now. I'll stay with you a little longer. Let your legs be supported by the chair. Imagine your shins melting onto the chair. Imagine your knees and the space behind your knees melting towards the thighs and down into the ground. Your belly softening. Imagine your belly softening so much that it starts to feel like it's liquefying. Liquid ocean belly. Liquid ocean belly. Start to soften around the heart, the lungs, the backs of the shoulders, the entire spine, the whole back, melting onto the ground. Imagine your heart and lungs dropping onto the ground. Forehead smoothing out. Imagine the front of the brain resting on a shelf formed by the back of the brain. And then the whole brain sinks down into the ground. Temples melting towards the ears. Ears dropping onto the ground. Cheeks melting into the cheekbones. Lower lip parting from the upper lip. Lower jaw unhinging, chin dropping towards the chest. The roof of the mouth widening away from the tongue. Tongue melting into the bottom part of the mouth. Release even more. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Re-soften the belly. So again, stay longer if you like. I'm going to come out of the shape. You stay, please. wish I could stay, but I would like to read you a poem like I always do when you're here. So I'm going to read you a poem by Dana Folds from one of my favorite books, One Soul by Dana Folds. Dana Folds is spelled DANNAFAULDS if you want to look her up. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to read you one of her offerings. This is called Joy for No Reason. I'm filled with quiet joy for no reason, save the fact that I'm alive. I'm filled with quiet joy for no reason, save the fact that I'm alive. The message I receive is clear. There's no time to lose from loving. No place but here to offer kindness. No day but this to be my true, unfettered self and pass the flame from heart to heart. This is the only moment that exists. So simple, so exquisite, and so real. So please stay in your legs up the chair a little longer. I might come back to it after I leave you because it felt so yummy. And I'm going to leave you now. You might silently join me in saying namaste. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.